Hello YarnTube, hello YouTube, hello you. How are you? Are you having a good day? My name's Louise and this is the Big Head Bookworm channel, and I am here today with a tag video. Now, I rarely do tag videos. I happily watch them and I really don't know why I don't do them. I should do them more often because I enjoy them so much and I like thinking about them. I asked a while ago, has anybody tagged me in a video? I mean, months ago. And somebody replied back and said, yes, I've tagged you in the junk food tag by GabsAboutBooks. What a great title, which is Gabrielle Fillion. Is that her name? Which I am going to subscribe to right now. There we are, subscribed. So GabsAboutBooks, I shall be watching you. I don't think she watches me, but there we are. I shall watch you. Because that's the best thing about tabs, is that you tags, you get to find out who else is around and this kind of stuff. Anyway, somebody said, I've tagged you. If it was you, then I apologise that I can't remember, or I didn't write it down. I wrote down that I had been tagged, but I didn't write down who tagged me, which was a bit silly. And I can't go back and find it. Anyway, I've got 10 questions here about junk food. And so here we go. This is my take on the junk food tag. Question 1. Chocolates are ooey gooey. That's true. Choose a book with a great romance. Well, you've come to the right place for that, because I know many, many romance books. I'm going to choose one that isn't often mentioned, or at least I haven't seen anybody mention it, and it is An Accomplished Woman by Jude Morgan. Oh, it is lovely. This came out quite a few years ago. When did it come out? 10 years ago. So it's an older one. It is inspired by Jane Austen. So it's inspired by the Jane Austen novels, and it is Lydia Templeton and Louise Durrant. I would say perhaps Emma is what I closely reminded me of. So if you enjoy Jane Austen, you enjoyed Emma, you enjoyed any of those romances, it is a period romance. It is set in, I think, Regency. It is clean. If you like a romance that is clean, this is one like the Jane Austens. And it is beautiful, and I have read it many times since I bought it. I think I must have bought it soon after it came out, and it is glorious. So, An Accomplished Woman by Jude Morgan. It is a lovely, lovely romance. Question 2. Ice cream is frozen but will melt. Choose a book with a bad beginning but a good ending. This was a book that we had for book club many, many, many moons ago, and it is An Instance of the Fingerpost by Iain Pears. And I can't remember who chose it. I might even have been me that chose it. And it is written in different voices. And the first voice I didn't really like. And I really struggled to get through it. It is a mystery set in, I can't remember, 1663. It's a mystery set in 1663. It's got various narrators. The first voice I just didn't enjoy. But once I got past, say, about page 100, that was it. And then as soon as the second narrator started, as soon as the second voice started, it's so good. It's such a good mystery. I mean, it is so good. And it's one of the husband's favouriteest books. It is such a good book. And if you haven't read it, you really, really must. So if you like a medieval mystery, if you like a mystery, if you like a good book, An Instance of the Fingerpost by Iain Pears is, you know, at one point it was talked about so much because it was such a good book, and I just don't think it is now. You can see our copy is well battered, but oh, it's so good. So there we go. Didn't start great for me, but then so good. 3. Candy can be sweet or and sour. Choose a book with a good beginning but a bad ending. I don't know how controversial this is going to be, but I am choosing Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. So The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, just thought was amazing. Halfway through Mockingjay, I just thought, no, and it did, and it ruined the series for me. I haven't watched the film. I don't think I've watched the last two, because I didn't like the ending. I just didn't like it. I don't know how other people feel about it, but this was probably the first kind of the dystopian series that I remember reading, and I had no idea about it. I just saw it in the bookshop one time, this book called The Hunger Games, and picked it up and devoured the series. Got halfway through this last one, I went, So yes, Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Controversial, probably not very. Number 4, pizza comes in many varieties. Choose a wide with a wide range of characters. Choose a book with a wide range of characters. I am choosing the old books here. I am choosing Strangers by Dean Koontz. There we are. If you like a thriller, if you like a horror thriller, I've read this, I don't know how many times, 3, 4, 5 times. It has a huge cast of characters. It gripped me from page 1 until the last page. I think it's beautifully paced for such a large book. I thought it was really good. It's the first book that I remember with a massive cast of characters that I enjoyed as much as I enjoyed It, because I really loved It by Stephen King, and that was the other book I considered for this. But I would say Dean Koontz by Strangers, because it has a wide variety of characters and it's such a good thriller. If you know somebody that likes a thriller and they've not read this, it's really good. It's really good. A good old Dean Koontz. Chips make a loud crunch. Indeed they do. Choose a book that made a big impact in a series. I am choosing number 4, Heartless by Gail. This is the Parasol Protectorate series. I adored book 1. I adored book 2. Book 3, less adored. Book 4, adored. Book 5, less. But book 4 was good. It's good. So there we are. Heartless, number 4 in the Parasol Protectorate series. Cakes are a guilty pleasure. Is any pleasure? Do you feel guilty about any pleasure? Choose a book that is your guilty pleasure. Don't really have a guilty pleasure, and I am honest about all the books that I read. I read romance, which a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about. I will read erotica. I will read very adult saucy books. I will also read clean novels. I will read the whole gamut, but that is the one that people would assume would be a guilty pleasure. So I have chosen something a bit different, and I've chosen a series of books that I reread and reread, and I feel the only time that makes me feel guilty is I've got all those books over there that are new and that I haven't read, and yet I keep returning to these books. And it is the In Death series by J.D. Robb. It's Nora Roberts writing as J.D. Robb, and this is the one I just picked up. I could have picked up any of the 30, 40 that I have, and this is Loyalty in Death. I enjoy all of the In Death series, some more than others, but then if you've got a series that has over 40 in, you are going to get a variety. So that's my guilty pleasure, is going back and rereading these when I have all these new books that I could be reading. Other than that, I don't feel guilty about reading anything. Soda is fizzy and bubbly. Choose a book that makes you feel cheerful. So I'm going to choose 2 for that. I'm going to choose this, Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh, which is a paranormal romance. It makes me feel cheerful because I love the characters in this. It makes me feel cheerful that I can read it. It gives me a little kind of frisson, which makes me feel cheerful. And I love the fact it's the beginning of the series and that I've got the rest of the series to read. So that's one, Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh. The other book is actually behind me, and that is Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Now this makes me feel cheerful, A, because I love the series, and B, because I love the book. But C, it's because of the amount of people that I know that have read it, and that when they find out that I've read it, or they see the books on my video, they say, oh, and it is that connection. It is that connection that books can bring us, that we can connect to each other because of what we've read. And it gives you a little insight into somebody when they say, oh, I've read that book as well. And you are just closer to them because you have that shared love of a series. And it surprises me how many people on BookTube see the fact that I have those books behind me and are thrilled because they find somebody else. I know people in real life that have read it as well, and I know that excitement. And they're actually filming it at the moment. I don't know whether they've wrapped filming in Oxford. And so that will be exciting. So I know that I've got people in my life that I will be going to the cinema with to see the film because we'll all be excited. So that's the book. Makes me feel cheerful. Cocktails can make you feel tipsy, I see. Choose a book that gave you a book hangover. I have 2 books here that gave me a book hangover. One for a good reason, one for the bad reason. One, I should start with the bad first. Elizabeth Gilbert, The Signature of All Things. I think I read this before I started BookTube, like majority of these books. And I read it for book club. And I even think it might have been my suggestion. And it gave me a book hangover because it made me feel really down. I didn't enjoy it. I do like Elizabeth Gilbert. I do like her writing. I did not enjoy it. And so many people did. And I don't know what I missed. So many people absolutely loved it, and I didn't get it. And it gave me a book hangover. I found it really difficult for quite some time to find something that I could sit with, because I almost lost my confidence with this book. It was so kind of rave reviewed, and I didn't get it. It was that book that I was like, I don't get what everybody's getting on about. It's fine. It's not that good. So yes, there we go. Elizabeth Gilbert. That gave me a bit of a book hangover, but not for the good reason. And this was my book hangover for a good reason. And it is one of my most favouriteest books. It's called In Watermelon Sugar by Richard Brautigan, who was a beat poet. And this is a very slim little novel. And I remember reading it. I think I read it in one day. I can remember sitting outside on a hot, hot summer's day reading it. And it blew me out. I couldn't read anything afterwards because it just didn't have the impact of this. It's a phenomenally simple book, but it just had such an impact on me, and I absolutely adored it. And I didn't read anything for ages after it because nothing was going to be as good as this. Just glorious. And I still feel that, and it almost makes me worried about reading it again now, because it was just so good and so profound. So there we are. So I ended on a high with my Richard Brautigan's In Watermelon Sugar. Question 9. Cookies are great for rewards. What's the next book you want to buy as a reward to yourself? Well, I'm not actually going to. I don't know at the moment. I don't have anything particular that I want to buy. The only thing that I do really, really want, and that I'm going to ask Father Christmas for, is the Harry Potter, the 3rd illustrated Harry Potter. Because it's just come out and I've seen it, and it's got the night bus. And it's so beautiful. So yes, the Harry Potter number 3, I would like that, please, as illustrated, and that would be my amazing treat. But I'm going to ask Father Christmas whether he would be so kind as to get me that for my Christmas present. And then number 10, what is your favourite candy? I'm not a huge sweet fan. I don't have a sweet tooth. I have a savoury tooth. I always have done, really. So packets of crisps. If we're talking crisps, well, that could be a whole new video as far as I'm concerned. But these are mine and my husband's favourite little after tea treat. Toffee Fee! Toffee Fee! I remember having this as a little girl, and my husband remembered having it as a little boy, and we loved them, and we always try and find packets of them, and you used to get them duty free when we came home from holidays, and we just love them. And so if either of us see them, we buy it, and we've got a nice big box of them here. It's a hazelnut and caramel with creamy nougat and chocolate, and it's just delicious, and you have just a couple after your tea, and it's lovely. Unfortunately, Benedict can't have them because he's allergic to hazelnut, So we have to keep them just for us. But that's my favouriteest candy, and it always makes me happy. So there we go. So I'm not going to tag anybody in particular, but if you've liked this tag and you would like to do it, then consider yourself tagged. Please will you tell me if you are doing one of these videos so that I can come and watch it. That would be really good. Thank you very much. I'd be much appreciative of that. And there we go, BookTube. There we go, YarnTube. There we go, YouTube. That is my junk food tag, originally done by GabsAboutBooks. And I look forward to chatting to you again.